So the Ultimate Shootout is a new one-on-one format that GoSports are trying to, like, I don't know, implement during this, like, coronavirus lockdown. And I, for one, am very happy. I like to see and have wanted to see more in paintball, more like trial and error stuff, right? I think that we've been stuck in this mode of playing paintball since it started, really. And I would like to see more experimentation. And I think that this one-on-one league is that experimentation, right? So it's one-on-ones, right? You got one guy on one side. It's pretty easy. But there is definitely an interesting scoring system. So scoring, golly, man, my computer is just like, it's crazy how like I can't click things. It's just so slow. So the scoring is kind of crazy. So it's not just like, you know, one-on-one and whoever shoots whoever first wins that 1 point. It's kind of like that. But they're doing like different scoring areas. So there are 3 buzzers stationed across the center 50. And when you hit the buzzer, if you hit any of the buzzers, if you hit the buzzer on the left side 50, the right side, or the center, you get 3 points right there. So you can see that that buzzer is 3 points. If you shoot someone, you get 1 point. So it's kind of in your favor, right? If it's 0-0, you don't really want to shoot that guy. You really want to get the buzzer first before the other player shoots you or you shoot someone, because you want to get like the maximum amount of points. So what we saw a lot in the Ultimate Shootout was definitely a lot of guys that were, do I want this to, we'll just let this play. So what we did see a lot of was, pretty much guys racing to the buzzer, kind of trying to stop people from getting to the buzzer. So if the player got too close, they would try to shoot him so they wouldn't get it. But really the objective was probably like try to get to the buzzer first and then, you know, shoot the other player. So you're getting 4 points. So you're getting the buzzer and you're getting that kill and the other player wasn't able to get to the buzzer. I like it. I'm a fan. One of the things that was kind of cool too is right before the start of that one-on-one, like 8 seconds before, one of the buzzers will, like, little puff of smoke comes out of the buzzer. And then it indicates which buzzer has like a bonus point. So if you get the buzzer on the left side that time, you get 4 points instead of those 3 points. They're doing a hot streak where if you shoot a guy 3 times in a row, so say like Meter gets shot right now by Mark Jackson 3 times in a row, or Mark Johnson. If Mark Johnson gets shot 3 times in a row, Meter would have a hot streak. And then now Meter will, every time he shoots Mark, will get 3 points. So there's multiple ways to score. I like it. I think that experimentation is good. And this is definitely a format that for newer players or experienced players, right? It's just easier to watch because there's less going on, right? There's only 2 players. That focal point is easy. Having different scoring is kind of interesting because it can provide different tactics, right? Like say you're up a bunch of points and something, I don't know. I don't have any like pre-planned tactics we could talk about. I kind of do. I kind of thought about this earlier. You know, I don't know. I feel like I should read this. But it's neat, right? So if you're up, 6 points, you could easily shoot a guy 3 times and then hit a buzzer and then boom, then you're up 9 points or something crazy. So I like it. I like how we can have big swings in points. I think that being able to have big swings in points allows for more tactical stuff. Yeah. So we can watch a little bit. Let's watch a little bit together.
This paintball. At one point in time, Meter Nino moved out to the East Coast when he was in his late teens, and Mark was one of the guys that was able to bring him back here. And Meter has played for a laundry list of top teams over the years, and Mark Johnson is one of the Mr. Texas paintball guys. And like we said, old salty veteran, kind of had a lot of these younger kids, showed them the ropes, and he's the oldest competitor out here. You have to give the nod to Meter Ninos. He's younger, a little bit faster, he's nimble. But man, if he sleeps on Mark Johnson, it would not surprise me at all if Mark Johnson knocks him out.
I don't think anyone can sleep on Mark. I mean, Mark's the oldest guy out here for sure, but I would argue he's also probably the most competitive guy.
So yeah, this was the very first, we'll say, Ultimate Shootout they did. And there's also going to be, I think on June 7th, this Saturday, I think that's the 7th, there's going to be the second round. I'm not entirely sure who's playing the second round. I don't remember. They just showed it on the screen there, though. But I'm all about it. I think that the second matchup we saw between Jesse Stevens and Clint Johnson was very fun. Both of those guys are aggressive front snake players, so we saw like both of them pretty much running at the 50 and kind of just jousting and running around. I liked it. I thought it was fun to watch. So you can see Meter won that point. He got 1 point by shooting Mark, and that's good, right? I mean, you want that single point, but maybe it would have been better to like wait a minute and try to get to the buzzer and then shoot him, or like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I like this. It's fun to me. It's fancy. I'll just leave this playing and we'll just talk about it in the background a little bit. You know, so I like it. They have microphones on, the players have mics, and those coaches have mics, so you can kind of hear them talking.
You sit down on that stool and you get an earful from your coach talking about how you employed the game plan. But no, not much of a game plan in that first one. Mark was trying to press, and Meter just shot him out.
Yeah, and you hear Mark talking already. Down 1-0.
Cool.
Orange.
So it looks like the orange button is going to be the bonus button on the stand-up side of the field over there. 4 points for that bonus button. We'll see if Meter heads towards that. If Mark heads toward, Mark's actually going to go to the opposite side of the field and completely drops the ball. Mark is going to be able to hit that blue buzzer. 3 points for him, but then ends up getting taken out. And that's that risk versus reward, TJ.
Yeah, see, by Mark hanging out in the back a little bit and like, or not by hanging out, I'm sorry, by being super aggressive, he was able to make it to that buzzer and he's able to get, 3 points. And even though he's been shot twice and hasn't shot Meter at all, he's up 3-2. So I think it's fun. I think it's fantastic. I think it's really cool how the smoke comes off that thing. I think it's cool. The sound effects are neat, when they get a buzzer, they're like, "Brrrr," and when you get shot, they like make a sword noise, and like, I think it's cool. I am a fan. I think that there could definitely be better things. I think that the scoring, although having different scoring, being able to score, 1 point, 3 points, or 4 points is fantastic. I actually like that. I think that on screen, it could probably somehow be demonstrated better. Like, if somebody's in that hot streak or on fire, maybe keep like a on fire thing in the corner so we know that, like, I don't know, Mark's on fire all the time and now he's getting 3 points per kill. Maybe just having a more clear way to show what points are being earned. Because you think like in basketball or football, it's very obvious when they're scoring weird point amounts, right? Like the 3-point line, or you're shooting a free throw. Or in football, kicking field goals or scoring a touchdown. It's very obvious how many points they get. And it's maybe not as obvious in this, or maybe that's me just being nitpicky too, and it's not really that big a deal. But I like it. Kill streak. Yeah, I keep calling it being hot because I think about on fire. I think about this. Not that. This is not going smoothly. It'll be worth it.
He's on fire!
I think they should have that grab. I think they should have that in the back when someone gets on, like, shoots a bunch of people. Because it reminds me of NBA Jam a lot. So yeah, I like it. I just think that as they keep doing these, I think that they can keep improving. I would always like to see that top-down shot because I definitely want to see, players move around or, use the layout and just illustrate where people have gone. I don't know. I'm happy with it. I think that GoSports and whoever guys are in charge or running this thing are really pushing for it. I like it. I like how they've got their own bunkers and like the players seem to like it. They've got their own like ultimate shootout jerseys and all kinds of stuff.